What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Sharp Sports Media. Now, the Mets last night, they had a 5-3 victory over the Marlins, beating Sandy Alcantara in a great game to start the series against the Marlins. But I have been away for the past couple days, had some family stuff I needed to take care of. So, I did quickly want to talk about, before we get to the Miami game, the Houston series, which unfortunately the Mets got swept. It was only a 2-game series, but we got swept in Houston versus the Astros. Now, the first game, I'm going to be honest, I was not expecting to win. I know how well we've been so far this year, but having Trevor Williams on the mound, and I know he's done a decent job at producing in emergency starts. He's been able to at least keep the Mets in the game for most of them. The Houston Astros have probably a top 5 offense in this league. They're a very good team. I just didn't see him having one of those outings. I just thought I thought he was gonna get shelled. I really did, and that might be pessimistic, but I didn't think it was a game that we probably were gonna win. I thought we should have definitely kept it closer than we did, with the final score ultimately being 8-2. Second one being 5-3, but yeah, the first game was just a complete wash. I mean, just put that out of your memory. I thought it was not a great performance by almost everybody on the field. Couple nice hits and stuff like that, but overall not a good game. Just watch it from your memory, especially with this team and how well we've been playing. Second game was definitely a little disappointed in Carlos Carrasco's performance. They seem to be knowing what pitches to come, and I know Astros cheating, but they're just a really good lineup, and I think he's just gotta mix it up maybe a little bit better. I'm confident he'll be able to bounce back. He's been able to do it a lot this year. I'm pretty sure this is his worst start of the year, so I wouldn't look too much into it, especially with the Astros being as good as they are. The one player I am starting to get pretty concerned about, though, is Eduardo Escobar. He just really hasn't been able to put it together for multiple weeks or multiple games, really. He right now is batting .228 with a .288 on base percentage and a .388 slugging. And like I say before on the show or in reactions, Eduardo Escobar is a very streaky hitter. He's going to have the highs, he's going to have the lows, and he's had the lows this year for sure. But he hasn't had the highs for a consistent amount of time like usual. He's had the 1 or 2 games where he'll look really good and then he'll go back to the slump. You haven't had those 2 weeks of hot Eduardo Escobar where he's hitting 320, 340, 550 slugging for just that week where he's just mashing baseballs. And that's what you need, especially when you are a hot and cold hitter. You need to have the highs in order to justify the lows. And he hasn't had enough highs yet this year, and you need to start seeing that from him. You really do. Past 7 games, 24 at-bats, 3 hits for a 125 average, 154 on base for a 250 slugging. Last 7 games. Last 15 games, 56 at-bats, 12 hits, 3 home runs, 12 RBIs for a 214 average, 217 on base, and a 411 slugging. I mean, you hear the numbers. They're not good. They're not good at all. And he definitely needs to be better. He is somebody I'm definitely starting to become concerned with, that his highs are not going to come, and it's just going to be a game or two, and then there's going to be lows. And then you're thinking, well, what do I do to solidify the third base position? Do you start playing Guillorme over Escobar more often than not? Do you go trade for somebody? Do you call up a guy maybe like Mark Vientos, which I don't think we should, but it raises the question at least. So that is the main guy I'm concerned about. And moving on to this game, last night's game. You had a performance. You had to go up against Sandy Alcantara, like I've continued to say, a top 5 pitcher in the league, and like the Mets do, and especially against Alcantara, you got to take advantage early and take advantage of any chances he gives you. And Lindor has a fantastic at bat in the first inning, ends up, I think it was 8 or 9 pitches. Here, let's see. It was, come on. It was a 8 pitch at bat. He was down 1-2 after 3 pitches. Takes a ball, fouls one off. Takes a ball, fouls one off. Works it to 3-2, and then gets a high heater. And he takes that one to deep center field, and that really, I think, changes the game. That might be one run out of our 5, but it might have been one of the biggest ones, as it gives you hope that you can get to Alcantara today. It's like, hey, we can get some runs off this guy. We're the New York Mets. We have some of the best players as well. So we can face a guy like Alcantara. If you let him get into his groove, it can get really tough to get hits, to score runs, to just even move, to get on base. So that, I think, really opened up the scoring for the Mets side. On the pitching side, I thought Taijuan Walker had a fantastic day. Not a fantastic day, but that's a poor choice. I thought he had a good enough day against Alcantara. Going 6 innings, 8 hits was a lot, but he was able to get out a lot of jams. He got guys on base, but was able to get either a double play, or he had the one where he got hit right to him and his mitt fell off, and he was able to grab it and throw it. So he was able to get out of with runners in scoring position or runners on base, which was very important. And it shows when you are in stress relief innings, it's the most important time to perform, and that's what Taiwan Walker did. Only giving up 3 earned runs in 6 innings, 99 pitches. 3 earned runs, not bad in 6 innings, especially keeping them in the game against the guy like Alcantara. That's what you got to do. You got to keep him in the game, and he did that. So he did his job very well. Drew Smith with 2/3 of an inning, or 2/3 of an inning, pitched very well. He continues to be very good, and Adam Ottavino has been very good for us. I don't think is talked about as much as well as this guy has been. He has a 2.6 ERA, pitched an inning and a third, only gave up 1 hit, didn't get any Ks, but he is truly a pro's pro, a veteran right-handed reliever who's been around the league, knows how to pitch in this league, and kind of knows how to work his business. And I think he's a huge part of this bullpen. I don't think he's a eighth inning setup guy in bigger games, but I think he's that if somebody goes 6 or 5, you bring him in for that 6-7 role, and he'll eat you an inning or maybe 2, and he can really perform. Edwin Diaz was very solid again. He didn't get any strikeouts, which was crazy. Gave up 2 hits, but didn't give up any runs. ERA stays at 2.2, so very solid for him to close out the door. And after the first inning, like I said, Taiwan Walker went 6, gave up 3, but they score right back. He struggled in the first, but was able to rein it in, which was very nice to see. Like I said, stress innings, he was able to really work out of jams or work out of stress for most of this game, which is something you're going to see in a lot of big games. So the fact that you can rely on him for something like that is big. And it stays 1-1 all the way till the 5th, when Canna homers, and it was a nice pitch. It was a fastball inside, and he just turned on it. And seeing that kind of power on an inside fastball is pretty good to see from Canna. He's going to get his base hits and stuff like that, but taking a pitch like that, high inside fastball, those are some of the toughest pitches to get to, and he got his barrel all the way out to it and able to lace it to left field, was something very, very nice to see. It shows the pop that Canna can bring once in a while, and you don't need Canna to hit 30 home runs, but when he's bringing the pop as well, as long with being able to get those base hits almost at a 300 rate, I mean, how can you not like this guy? He definitely, I think, the most underrated signing for the Mets this offseason. But ultimately, in the end of the bottom of the 5th, the Marlins reiterate the scoring, or they retaliate, and they score back a run, and it ties the game at 2. Soler grounds out with Birdie scoring and Chisholm to third. I do want to mention, because I saw Birdie's name, it was good to see Birdie get thrown out, because last series, he was running the bases, stealing bases left and right on us. So it was good to see our catchers finally be able to gun that guy out. you should not be able to steal that often on us, especially you know a guy's going to try to steal. Come on. So definitely an improvement on that. It definitely helps out the pitcher when the guy doesn't have to get in a scoring position. Or you get it, you kind of stealing out there. Really, you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about the guy on first anymore, and no scoring position. So must continue to improve on the throwing out on the batters. And Birdie, probably one of the better base stealers in the league. It was good to see him get thrown out. But they tie the game in the bottom of the fifth. Like I said, Walker battling through stress. The only problem I had with Walker's appearance, really, and it's a minor thing, but the fact that he gave up the runs right after we scored kind of hurts a bit. It might take the flow out or the wind out of your sails, kind of, because we got up to 2-1, now it's 2-2 immediately, or we got to 3, whatever. So, but otherwise, I thought he battled very hard, like I continue to say. But the Mets retaliate right after that. It goes 2-2. Well, bases loaded for Lindor, and he gets a base clearing double, and that makes it 5-3. They would ultimately end up scoring in the bottom of the 7th with Cooper walking, but Francisco Lindor has been it's been so underrated this year for the Mets. I know a lot of people, Mets fans, look at his average or look at his OPS, and sometimes OPS plus is very good for him, but he right now is hitting 246, and people are like, oh, I want to see 270, 280 from Lindor, and his on base 322 with a slugging of 428. They wanted bigger numbers, and well, I obviously would love Francisco Lindor. I would like Francisco Lindor to hit around 260, 265. That'd be my ideal, but he's still having a fantastic year for us, really, and I don't think you can. It's hard to just say he's having a bad. You can't say he's having a bad year. I mean, 1.9 WAR, 749 OPS. He's driven in 56 RBIs, which is top 5 in the league. He's getting clutch hits when he needs to. He has 12 home runs this year already. This is a solid year for Lindor. I mean, you're not going to get a guy Lindor's not a guy that have a 950, 1,000 OPS guy. He's not that kind of guy. But he is the kind of guy who's going to be able to produce in big situations, has a bit of power, and plays great defense. And Mets fans are always, I feel, it's like Edwin Diaz. There's going to be some Mets fans who don't think Edwin Diaz is ever going to be any good. And whenever he makes a mistake, it's Ed Lose Diaz. And same thing with Lindor. He's been paid too much. He's a bum. He's a bust. Shouldn't have traded for him. Just got to look at it for what it is. He's having a great season. He's going to be an all-star probably. He probably won't start, but he's probably going to make the all-star game. So I don't think you can look at it with blinders on for Francisco Lindor's season. He's having a great year. He's going to continue to have a great year. So the Mets will try to make it 2 in a row against the Marlins and take the series. They play today in about an hour from when I'm recording this. So maybe we'll get another video up today on today's reaction if I have enough time today, or if not, we'll do it tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching and for your support. If you want to follow me on Twitter at jsharf_1216. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the other side.